Hello, this is Miles McGeehan, and today I'd like to share with you how rubrics can be used within the CourseSites LMS. In this particular example, I'm in a blog area of the LMS, and I've already made a rubric which is visible here on the right-hand side. Students can view it and see how they will be assessed, and they can use this tool to help self-assess or even peer assess. This particular analytic rubric is set up with 4 columns and 4 rows. As a teacher, I can label the types of column headers as well as the row headers. I can also decide if it should be displayed as points or percentages and so forth. And then I can enter in the content or the criteria for each of these different columns and rows within the grading scale. I can also give the rubric a title, and this is important for finding it and associating it with different assignments. And I can give it a brief description. Once the rubric has been associated with a particular activity, types of activities that include rubrics are assignments, wikis, discussion boards, blogs. Basically, if you can associate a point value with an activity, then you can associate a rubric within CourseSites LMS. Well, once the rubric's associated, I'm in the student's blog here, and I can go ahead and use the edit grade value. And I could just put in a straight point value here, or I can expand the rubric. And I'm given a couple options here. This is an abridged version of the rubric, and this is the evidence portion. It shows me a 4, 3, 2, 1 here, and if I know the rubric well enough, then I can just go ahead and start clicking the different point values and so forth, and it auto sums my evaluation of the student's work and automatically transfers it to the gradebook. If I'd like to see some of these descriptors, I can also expand them by checking the box here. And for evidence, I can see the criteria that I've recorded. That might help me if I'm a little rusty with the rubric. So that's one example within the blog. Well, let's show you how you can make a rubric. On the left-hand side here, down in my course tools area within the course management, if I expand this and scroll down, I can select rubrics here. And this will take me to a portion of the course where I can build a rubric. The first time you open this, you may not see any rubrics listed. This would be a plain page. But you can see that I have 4 rubrics already built, and I can reuse those on different assignments if I like. Or I can create a new rubric. I'll briefly go through the steps of creating a new rubric. We'll give it a name. Description are like basically the directions that the students would read at the top portion of the rubric. And in the next part here, rubric detail, I can choose to add rows and add columns as necessary. I can choose whether this rubric is represented by points, percents, ranges, etc. I can even provide weighting for the different columns and the different rows, if that's what I so choose. I'm going to go ahead and choose points. Now personally, I prefer my first column to be the highest point value a student can get. Maybe that's an advanced proficient, and then work down. So if I'd like, I can edit this column or delete it, and here I'm going to put advanced proficient. And then over here, I can change this to emerging or whatnot. For sake of time, we're going to go ahead and just move on, but you get the gist for how these columns and these rows can easily be renamed. I can also reorganize them if I like by just simply clicking this up and down arrow or this left-right arrow field. And I can enter in point values pretty simply. As well as entering criteria for what makes advanced proficient, let's say for formatting. And again, I mentioned that I can add another column if I like, so if I wanted to go to a 3210, that works as well. Finally, I'll hit submit once I'm happy with all of the information in the rubric. And do know that you can come back and edit the rubric if you make a typo or you want to make an adjustment. And here is my new rubric. If I wanted to make an adjustment, I could just click this caret and choose Edit. Let's go into an activities area now, or a content area within the course. And imagine I'm making a new assignment. I would give the assignment a title and so forth and so on, directions, and give it a point value. But notice right here, right around the points possible area, you can actually add a rubric. And you can create a new rubric, or you can select an existing rubric. So I chose select an existing rubric, and here's that new rubric I just created. And I'll choose submit now. It automatically takes the point values associated within the building process of this rubric and enters it in as the max possible points. So the LMS is smart like that, which is a convenient feature. And I have some functionalities here if I want to view the rubric or make some small edits to it and that sort of stuff. I could just use this for secondary evaluation. Maybe that's for peer editing or formative assessments, but not necessarily something that I want to go to a gradebook. I can control that here. I can choose whether this rubric should be viewable by students. And so, yes, that would be excellent to let the students see this. And so forth and so on. So once I've got all that set up and I would add due dates and so forth, I can choose to hit submit, and my assignment is built and the rubric will be visible for students. Well, thanks for your attendance. That wraps up building and associating a rubric within the CourseSites LMS. Until next time, have a great day.